Well, hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, I can see your beach, Lisa. You love it. Okay, first of all, you can hear me, yes? Like, make sure all the technology is working. I was in the background, like, is this happening? I was trying to make sure everything works. I'm so excited. I'm really, really thrilled with this conversation. And I heard the word echo about a couple weeks ago, and I was like, that's the name. That's the name of the event here. So, welcome to the Echoes. We're going to talk about how to stop reflecting and observing the limitations, the patterns that might be showing up, whether it's in your bank account, in your relationships, or whatever's going on in your life that you would like to be a little different. We're going to find out why it's reflecting what it is and move through some of those conversations, limitations, and anything that might be in the way of you living your absolute best life and living and walking in the assumption that success is already yours, abundance is already yours. And so we're gonna dive in here. So let me make sure I'm on speaker view. Um, and all things are working. Recording. We're live on Facebook, so hello Facebook if you're out there. And for those of you registered here, I will be sending out the recording so that you can, replay and see it for yourself again and again. And if you wouldn't mind in the chat, I just have a couple little requests there. I'm not sure if it populated before or after you joined. Love to know where everybody's, where you're from, like where are you dialing in from. Also, I encourage you to set your intended outcome from this session. And if you're here live, or on Facebook, just comment what that intention is. And oh, that's lovely. My daughter's calling me. I always love when she does that. Hold on, how do I shut that up? I'm like, I love you. I'll be back. And so I really think it's important that, I co-create with you on this. I have my own intentions, clearly, is to be of service, is to experience my own up level and connection. And it's a matter of being able to intend what you want to see the echo being. Right. And so we're going to practice straight out of the gate. It's like be the intention, and then you receive that after all is said and done, right? And so whether it's it's like I want to be able to have clarity. I want to be able to break through this limitation. I want to change an outcome. I just want to be able to connect to source more. I want whatever the intention is. I want more money in the bank account. Great, right? It can happen very quickly as long as we are in alignment. So that is important. And yes, I saw someone else jump on video. Hello, Allison. I can see you. Great to see you again. So if you are willing to be on video, I love seeing people in the room. But obviously that's your choice. And also, I wanted to just right from the get-go, I have some limited seats on my calendar over the next few days, and it is just a complimentary conversation. We'll spend a little bit of time, looking at what it is specifically for you that your consciousness might be in limitation around, and something that you might want to break through. And so you can jump on that calendar now and grab your seat. And that link for those watching on Facebook is now dot. Actually, you have to drop the S. HTTP colon slash slash, I don't know why, now.jenaloren.com. All right. So anyway, snag a seat there. I'd love to just get feedback and help give you a feedback loop. And so I wanted to put that out right at the beginning of our conversation today. So that's available to you. So a little bit about, first of all, just what to expect. And then I know there's some new people here, so I'm going to share a little bit more about who I am and why I'm here and why I'm even having these conversations with you. First of all, we're just going to go into some teaching and some material and really looking at some of the lessons, some of the reasons why we create echoes that maybe we don't prefer, but also what is the solution to that, right? So a couple lessons on what I've learned to be the game changers. And so we're going to go through that. I'm absolutely here to serve you and pour into you. So if you are here live on Zoom, then you get the opportunity to have a little bit of coaching, ask your questions like, how do I get through this? How do I shift this? Whatever those things are, and especially as hopefully my goal always is to wake you up and crack you open and activate. So if you hear something during our call today that like, I don't know exactly how to apply that in my life, then we're going to go into some love seat coaching for that purpose. And then I will absolutely share, and I always give invitation to those that want to ascend further, whether it's, looking at my high level programs and private coaching situation or membership, whatever it is, just, like making sure that you have that available to you to make a choice. I always think it's important for people to have freedom of choice. And if I never invite you to the party, how can you choose to join, right? So I'll share all that, and you can certainly ask me questions, and then we'll wrap up. So that is our agenda. So for anyone that's brand new to me, I had a lot of new people come into the registration of this, and I love seeing new names, new people, new energy. So welcome. And here's the thing: they call me the consciousness architect, the manifestation mentor. I used to call myself an emotional scientist because my whole life has been how do I regulate my emotions, and therefore raise my frequency so that I can have a different outcome. And so, as someone who grew up in scarcity and lack and watched it suffocate the potentiality out of me and those around me, I'm truly on a mission now to help humans live from their essence and their birthright abundance and alignment with their ultimate desires. Like no more fear, no more limitation, no more empty bank accounts. Like that is my mission. And I have definitely gone through the fire. So many of you don't have to. At least that's my intention. I'd love to like give you the shortcut. And it's really time to uncover and rewire the hidden patterns that give you or keep you from the income, freedom, and impact that you really want to make. So that's a little bit about me. The other fun story, real quick, a lot of people are like, "Where's Jena?" Right? That's like the famous question. Is because almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I went nomadic. And it really is. I'm always asking myself, where is Jena? Like, what's my current location in my reflection, right? My echo. And certainly, I just love sharing that this month has been a lot of travel and a lot of movement. And I am back. I traveled the entire country all of last year, and then I kind of consider Southern California my home base now. I just love the weather, love the sunshine, love the ocean. And so I'm kind of floating up and down the coast here of California. And this month alone, I traveled to see a friend in Pennsylvania. I came back. I did some house sitting, cat sitting for my niece in Redondo Beach. And then I moved on to Toronto. I mean, I went back and forth. Toronto was amazing. I've never been there. And I was in a condo, like 19th floor condo in the middle of the city. I was like, this is like a mini New York City. Like, this is fascinating. So that was a fun experience. And the day I flew back, I drove into Palm Springs. So you get to see me. This is Palm Springs, condo in Palm Springs. And then in about a 2 weeks from now, I'll head to the beach again. And I'll be in Huntington Beach, as far as I know. Oops, my ring just broke. All right. Bye bye. So anyway, it's just been such an amazing experience. And I'll tell you, going nomadic, it might look like, oh, that's cool, and I can't do that, but that's really cool for you. The thing is number one, anything's possible. You have to believe that. Or choose to. And ultimately, it's about setting up your lifestyle. If it's something you desire, and it was always something I wanted to create, which was freedom of location. Freedom of time, freedom of location, freedom of money, freedom of energy, freedom of choice. That is my mission in my life personally. I don't know how many of you are like about freedom. And so it's interesting because freedom is not outside of us, it's an experience within us. And then, of course, the outside starts to reflect. And this is the whole point of the echoes, is that the echoes is just the reflection in the mirror of who you're being. And I became freedom I chose freedom years ago, and the pieces of the puzzle started to unfold and reveal themselves. And it was funny because my first business 20 years ago was totally the opposite in my experience of freedom. I was so excited to jump out of corporate America and jump into the entrepreneurial world, and within a year, it closed down. I actually had to file bankruptcy. We can talk about that. That was a reflection of a fear that I actually had from childhood. And I even when I realized that was happening, like seriously, I was sitting in the parking lot after like I was like making the decision and realized, okay, this is happening. I'm gonna have to close the store down and file bankruptcy. I started laughing. I was like, this is funny because I have been afraid of this for, I don't know, 20 years since my childhood. When as a child, when my parents got divorced, it was foreclosure and bankruptcy. Like those were the words being spoken and the experience of that, or the reflection of that in my understanding as like an 8-year old. And then I was afraid of it. I was like, oh my God, that's the worst thing in the world that could ever happen to somebody. And da da da. And then I was laughing. I was like, and here it is. And I realized that number one, I wasn't done. I wasn't over. It didn't kill me. And I was able to pick up and, face the music of it and then recreate my life. And the first thing I did was make a decision. I am not interested in a storefront. Why did I even choose it? Well, it taught me a lot. And that storefront made me tied to a location. It was like literally the misalignment of my freedom decision. And I was like, no wonder like this isn't working. It was literally against all things that I was after, which was location of freedom, location of time, location of so much, right? And so anyway, so many times we create the experiences just for the sake of the contrast, right? Our echoes are opportunities to see what is coming back into my reflection. Therefore, who am I being? If I'm being that I want to be freedom and I'm choosing actions and alignments and opportunities that are not for that, and my ego is somewhat driving the decision, then it's going to reflect something I may not desire. And instead of being angry at it and just like frustrated, and sure, I had my emotional swings around it because I had to move through the misalignment, the self-compromise, the even a little bit of blame, right? And guilt because I was like, oh my God, I'm impacting my family, right? Our livelihood, et cetera, et cetera. But it was a short-lived, beat up session. And I realized, oh, this is teaching me way more. And so even back then, like 20 years ago, I didn't have this language. I didn't have, oh, my life is echoing me and all of that. I was still in the beginning of my transformational work, and I've been in this conversation of spirituality and psychology and transformation since I was 18. And so it was just a matter of time for these echoes to start showing themselves so that I could learn something about me. And then, and now here I am. I live in the freedom of location, like the true sense of it. At the same time, it's taught me the law of impermanence, the law of detachment, like being able to be something without knowing exactly how it's going to show up and trusting that it's going to reflect who I am by choice. And so that's a little bit of my story. And I trust, give me a one in the chat if any of that resonates with you in your life, just so I know I'm on track. But regardless, we all have our stories, we all have our experiences. And thank you, thank you. I see the confirmation there. And this is definitely about you. Like, how is your life showing up? Like, what echoes are you reflecting and experiencing in your life? Whether it's relationships, like, are you continuously getting some type of feedback loop, right? That says, I'm in conflict, I'm in resistance. I like this relationship is heavy. This relationship feels like there's always something we're arguing about or frustrated around, or like, so it's not necessarily about them. What if it's not about them at all? What if it's all about you and what you're reverberating, right? So it's an opportunity to look deeper. What about money? Is your bank account showing up the way you want it? Or is it not, right? Is the success that you're desiring, right? Like wherever you are is a result of your past beliefs, thoughts, and identity. More importantly, the identity piece. So here's the thing that I've come to realize is the universe is very simple. And you guys who know me, it's God, universe, source. I call it Gus. All right. Okay. Gus, you'll hear me say that all day long. Gus is very simple. It has no meaning. It's not giving the meaning to all the things that we have in our life or don't have in our life. We're the ones that create the meaning, therefore the experience. And however, it is so simple. It simply says yes. So whatever your frequency is vibrating at and whatever you're reverberating, you're echoing out, it's going to say, yes, I give you the command. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, very good. You want more of that? Then I'll give you some more, right? It echoes back to you what you are and who you're being and how you're acting in life, how you're walking. And it simply says, yes, I agree, right? It's not here to conflict with you. And so life is reflecting what you believe, what you expect, and also what you allow. Let that one sink in. What you allow, what you tolerate, and tolerate is, yeah, it's a little heavier word for me, but it's like it's an allowance. You're allowing something to continue in your space. You're allowing something to be the truth. You're allowing something to have the meaning that you have created. And yet, notice how the egoic self that wants to protect us from all that responsibility, all that ownership, it's reflecting it back out and going, nope, it's the circumstance. It's the bank account. It's the human. It's the boss. It's the client. It's the whatever it is. It's trying to get you away from any ownership that you're the powerful one. Because the ego likes to survive itself, guys. It wants to do everything it can to live. We gave it a job, but we gave it too much. As a child, we didn't know any better because it was the only way to survive. It was a survival mechanism. And yet, being human, we have one. It's great. Let's embrace the ego, but let's outsmart it, right? And so if it's that simple, the design of your life is a matter of looking and going, what am I putting out? What am I allowing? What do I believing? What am I thinking? What am I acting upon? And what am I expecting? What assumptions am I making? Because if you assume the fear, like me, you go bankrupt. It was just an example. It was just an example of a fear I assumed. Oh my God, that's terrible, 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 terrible. Well, I tried it on. Wasn't so bad. I didn't die. And it taught me so much. It's like it wasn't the end of me, and it certainly wasn't the definition of who I am. I'm not the bankruptcy at all. I'm certainly not my past, right? But I am who I am. I am the remembrance that I am the infinite, excuse me, supply of all things. I am the infinite abundance. I am the birthright of that. And we are the ones called the egoic self part, right? The ego starts to separate us from that remembrance. And so here's a couple reasons why I believe we echo what we don't want, right? In money and relationships, especially. And number one, we're reacting to circumstance, right? Here's one reason. Like it keeps coming because in reaction. And so it's happening to you, right? It's happening to me. Why is this happening to me? Why does this keep repeating? Why do they keep behaving that way? Why does this keep showing up? And so many times, guys, like until you wake up to your own pattern, and the awareness kicks in, you're unconsciously creating a pattern, and it looks like it's outside of you that is causing the repeat, right? So, number one is the reason it's still there is reacting to circumstances. You're in reaction instead of creation. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Number two, you have to see it in the mirror. You have to see it to believe it. Well, hold that one for a minute. You're needing the evidence outside of you. You have to see it first. Like, I need to see the proof in my bank account that I'm a millionaire or wealthy or successful or whatever. I need to see it in order to believe it. And we've got it backwards. And I believe that is the kind of the epitome of survival, the egoic survival. Because the only way the ego operates is to be like, I need evidence. I seek evidence. I'm literally in stealth mode all the time, seeking the evidence that I am right. And the egoic self is taking your beliefs and creating a pattern and a program around it. And the conditions that you said were true, the beliefs that you say were true about you, they're creating it's looking for the evidence. And so number one reason these echoes continue is that the ones you don't want, right, is you have to see it to believe it. And we're going to work on that. Number three, you're looking through life through an ego lens versus a higher self lens. We're too much in the weeds, as I call it. Like we're too close to it. We got to zoom out. We got to zoom out, change the lens, therefore the perspective. The first step to manifesting something else is your perspective, right? You got to start thinking and seeing and believing something new, or you will automatically on autopilot continue to create the echoes that you have. So those are the primary reasons I see that the echoes that we have, the pattern of limitations, or the things that we just simply do not prefer anymore, are continuing, right? There's a way that we're being the ego, we're being the evidence seeker, we're being the reactor instead of much the opposite. So let's talk about that. Let's dive into, well, what's the solution, right? So number one, let's talk about creating instead of reacting. The reflections seen in the mirrors of your life are the echo of your internal resolve. That's the basic knowledge here. The reflection seen in the mirrors of your life is about your internal resolve. Either you're creating from observation, like I'm observing life and therefore making the meaning, therefore continuing to create from that. So if your bank account isn't what you want it to be, or you feel like it's depleting, or you feel like it's this, whatever your feeling or creation is, you're creating from your observation of the 3D world versus creating from your imagination. Everything starts with an idea. Everything is a spiritual thought, spiritual idea coming in. The airplane was not created before it was an idea in somebody's imagination. Wow, what would it be like to fly in the air? I don't know how it came in, but it came in strong, right? And then it took time and action and conviction for that airplane to exist into the 3D form. But it wasn't it's like, imagine if who the heck created the airplane? I don't even remember. I'm a little I'm like stuck on that one. You could tell me. But bottom line is, who went the creator of the airplane, meaning the one that actually brought it into form. If they had waited, like, well, I need to see an airplane before I can believe that it exists. Would we ever have an airplane? We would have never had it because there was no evidence. And so if we're looking for evidence in our life that we are loved, that we are safe, that we are freedom, then you're waiting on something that's never going to happen because you're the one that creates it in the first place. So create or react, you get to choose. Creation is like, I'm imagining what this is all about, what I'm creating into my future self, into the now moment. I pull it into all the realities exist in once, guys. So it's like, pull the thing in that you want, but you got to imagine it first and you got to believe it. You got to know that it's yours already because it already exists. So you want to create from your imagination, not react from what you see. Okay. Number two is to believe it to see it. Right? Let's just flip the script. Instead of seeing it to believe it, we've got to believe it to see it. So it's interesting, right? It's like, what in us, humans, has it that we can't believe something fully? Like I always say, on a scale of 1 to 10, I ask my clients, I'm like, okay, you say you want more money, or you say you want success, and it's like, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe it? And you're over there saying, oh, it's an 8. I'm like, well, then what's the difference? What are you waiting on? Right? Like, what is it going to take to believe it? And usually the answer is evidence. Usually it's like, well, I need to have some proof before I can believe it. It's the other way around. And we must convince ourselves to believe before we see it, right? So, and the other thing is, hold on, I lost my notes. Um, is new echoes, right? New echoes in our life, the ones that we would desire, actually require coherence and alignment versus distortion of our energy. So, what the heck does that mean? Right? New echoes require coherence and alignment instead of distortion of our energy. And so, when we're in egoic state, when we're in survival, when we're like tunnel vision, the illusion, it's distorted because you can't see all possibility. You can only see the limitation of that. It's distorted. It's kind of like I just thought of this. It's like looking in the, what is it called? The kaleidoscope thing, right? It's like total distortion. And you're just looking through these two lenses into this distortion. And so you're not seeing very clear, right? So we want to create the clarity in our imagination and have coherence of our energy with that. Our energetic self is either chaotically distracted, right? It's like, nope, not going to go there. Nope, not going to go there. And I'm just going to stay where I'm comfortable, which is in essence, the whole job of the ego. The ego's like, can we just stay small? Can we please just stay in limitation? I know how to control this. I know how to control a small bank account because I'm real familiar with it. I know how to be in a relationship that doesn't work because I'm really familiar with it. Probably from some element of childhood makes me familiar with this person I married, right? Or whatever it is. So the ego's constantly trying to keep you in the distortion and help you all the way along. Stop forgetting, never remember who you really are, which you are the coherence, you are the connection, you are the alignment to the source energy, right? Gus, you are the ocean, as I say. And then we live our lives as a cup of the ocean and think we're the cup. I've said that many times. So if you're going to believe it to see it, like how do we get there? We've got to first start using our imagination. When did we stop daydreaming? When did we stop using imagination? When did we shut the mechanism off? Promise you, mine was really early on. Really early on, because all of a sudden my world became really unsafe, really unpredictable, fearful. And I was like, oh my God, I need to like come into my tunnel vision and stick to survival. And imagination just has no place right now. Like, I got to live in the real world. How many times have we been conditioned that reality is the real world? What if imagination is actually the real world and we're just living at the effect of it? So if you're imagining the worst, if you're imagining the fear, if you're imagining the relationship is great at the beginning, but it's always going to end because they cheat on me, because my, parents broke up and there was cheating. So that's all I got to know. Whatever it is, like if you're imagining that unconsciously or consciously, because so many of our patterns that are echoing right now are unconscious. So it's funny because it's like we all drive, right? So in the beginning, we were really conscious, like literally, like had to think about where's the brake, where's the gas pedal, how do I get all of my muscle memory to work together? How do I turn this blinker on? How do I, all the things. And like now, do you even get in the car and remember how you got to where you are? I don't, right, Allison? No. I'm like, I don't even know how I got here. Like it's like time travel. Like and then we throw a GPS on, which is interesting, right? What if Gus is our GPS and we're supposed to just follow the GPS? Now we have these screens on our cars that are GPSing us and we just put in a destination. What if the imagination is the destination and yet we're ignoring the GPS? Wouldn't we be like driving in circles? That is the echo of the things we don't want. Here's what my goal of this call is, to get you to start echoing the things you do, right? So the echo is still the reverberation of all of it, but who you're being is what's getting you what you have and what you're seeing over and over. And so just it's that kind of experience of how do we shift money, relationship, success, wherever you are, whatever the challenge is, or whatever the not non-desired results are that you're seeing in your mirror, how do we shift who we're being so that that starts to actually show up and we start to drive unconsciously, like it's automatic. We're being the driver, right? We don't have to think about how to drive. And so initially, if this is if you're stuck somewhere, you got to actually get a little conscious about it. You got to make some actual decisions and act accordingly. And it may feel like this is hard. I have to force myself to do this. Yes. You had to force yourself to repeat the driving of a car until no longer needed to be forced, right? And I don't mean force from a place of like push and angst and heaviness. I mean take conscious action in the space of discomfort. Do the thing that doesn't feel natural until it starts to feel natural. So give me an example. What is something that you now do, whether it's a business you run or maybe you started working out every single day for the last 3 years, and before it was like you didn't work out at all. Like, what is something, just give me like an idea of something that you have actually become natural at. You can type it or you can even open up if you'd like. Like, it's like a before and after. Anyone? Lisa, I know you well. I can give you give you your example. We've known each other like 10 years or more, 14 years. Um, it's just like that when I met you, you were actual nurse. You went from nursing to now business owner with a whole bunch of nurses under you, and you're not nursing so much anymore, right? Is that accurate? Yeah. Okay. So when you were the identity of I'm a nurse, how hard was it to then start to shift the direction of like I can be the manager of nurses, right? It's like you had to shift who you are. So tell me
Yeah,
more.
yeah, you're right. There is a role you have to decide to take on, and
Hmm.
it's way different from being the actual, nurse, to being the business owner. And that was a different thing for me because I did not learn that. I know
Hmm.
nothing about running a business. I know nothing about accounting or numbers or all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yes,
Business.
it was a conscious decision to let that go, let that part of me go, which was very hard because that was my identity.
That's right.
um and become the actual manager of the business. And so that entailed, like you said, taking steps or action steps of learning about with you, learning how to read a P&L statement. What does it mean about my business? Why should I care? Um,
Right.
how to
Skills.
recruit people. Um,
Yeah.
and then also from that recruitment, how do I recruit people that I actually want to work with my
Mhm.
company?
Yes.
Um, Rather than just hiring people, hiring for a culture. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
steps to learn. It took learning. It took a conscious, very conscious, decision making, learning, and doing, like
Yes.
going after it. And like you said, um, imagining what could be possible. And so I would do that. And I would say, for instance, how much do I want my company to make this year? And when I first started, it was $10,000 a month.
Right. 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 Right.
This year,
Milestone.
this year I set a goal of $4 million.
Amen.
And or no,
Yes.
I'm sorry, $6 million.
6 million. Yes, that was the
Six
goal.
million. And I laugh, not laugh, but I'm astounded by how easy it was. Like it took no
Mhm.
effort. All it did was take writing that down. And once I wrote down what would it take for me to get to that money, like from a business standpoint, how many nurses would I need to hire? And I wrote that down once. And
Yes.
then I just started taking action steps. I started working with my client to see where they needed a nurse. And but it was so effortless, which is also what I have created in my business world. I
Right.
don't work hard. I don't think you have to
Nope.
work hard for your money.
We go on
Whoever
cruises.
told us that we had to work hard for our money lied to us. And I also
Yes,
think that they enslave us by putting us in an employer-employee relationship. But um
I got it.
it was you're like you said, and I didn't really see that until just now
Mm,
that it was who I was being, that I was being that. I was
yes.
being a manager or a CEO that was running a $6 million company.
Before it
And
was 6 million, before it
before
was
it was six
more than
million,
10,000, right?
before I saw the evidence.
Yep.
But it's funny because my son runs the financial side and he'll call me every month all excited. And because I shared with him, I wrote down $6 million that we were going to do $6 million this year. So he calls me all excited, telling me what we did for the month. And
Oh,
he's so in awe of the fact that we're going to get to that
no doubt.
$6 million. Like
Yeah.
it's possible. Like, and so now I'm saying, well, why am I limiting myself?
Why not 10?
Right?
Exactly.
So, so yes, I totally see the change
Yeah.
that you and I have worked through.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm so proud
I
of you.
see that
Happy
I
for
see
you.
the evidence
Yes, it's
of me
showing.
believing, yes,
Yes.
believing before it happens and just writing it down and letting it come, accepting it, or what did you say? I wrote it down.
Kind of like
That we need,
embodying it, right? And what'd you
yes.
write?
Uh, I think I wrote, where is it? I have a little list. I have 3 pages already.
Love it.
Allow what I
Allow.
allow to happen. So I'm allowing that to happen, and
That's
it's
exactly
happening.
it. And it's happening. Yeah. So the echo, your reverberation, right? You're echoing and therefore reflecting back to you the thing that you already believe.
Right,
And so the opportunity is to obviously in our expansion and our continued, up leveling, which is what we keep working on, is like, okay, great, what's the next level? And it's like giving yourself permission to want the next level. Second,
right,
knowing that anything's possible and it's already here in the now moment. It's just whether or not you're aligned with it and
right.
coherence, right? And so what's the next level?
The next level is that it's limitless, that I don't need to write down a number, that I allow whatever comes to come, and it's limitless. I don't have to put a number. I don't have to put a 10.
Yes.
I
I
I
have
don't
so
have to
many
put a number.
zeros. I can't even count them anymore.
I don't ever have to worry about it again.
Yeah. Got it. And what's beautiful about that, speaking of wealth consciousness, is that we already are the infinite number. We
Right,
already are the infinite. Like it's not the human experience is the one that immediately puts, like I'm only worth $20 an hour, paycheck. I'm only worth $50 an hour. I can only bring in 2,000 a month. I can only bring in 10,000 a month. And I'm in the work of this too, guys.
right,
Like this is the human journey, is to go, where do I limit myself? Because I already am the abundance. Therefore, what has me limit and keep me small? Like what keeps me away from that truth? And
right.
that's the unpacking. That's the work. That's the like literally what we do, right? Together
Hmm.
is to like, what's in the gap? How do we
Right,
collapse the gap, which then creates the quantum leap? Like, so if you start to be, like you said, you had to shift the identity, like let go of the nurse. Like, who am I without nurse?
right. And sometimes I still struggle with that because
Yeah, it's a
I'm
big
getting
part of you.
older, and well, I have to stay nurse because I can't run my business in
Yeah,
Texas without being the nurse. So I have to stay nurse.
yeah.
But sometimes I do miss the patient contact or the person contact. But I
Mm,
also, then I go back to the fact that I get to live that through my nurses,
sure.
and I get to raise them up. Like
Yeah,
they get to shine in that nurse role.
right.
Um, and that also brings me great joy. So
Love that.
I
Love
I
that.
have to see the perspective, like you said, change the perspective of the identity of nurse to the identity of I am
CEO.
the infinite creator of nurses who care for our clients.
Yes. That works. That's where we're going to go, right? It's who you are. And I love that. And it's like back to the car analogy. And I love that you brought that up is like when you first started shifting it's like, I believe I'm a CEO. I believe I'm a business owner. But then there was like this conscious effort per se, the human effort to take actions aligned with that. I had to, it's like learn QuickBooks and learn accounting and learn, hiring and recruiting, and you learn skills, and now you're in the autopilot of that, right? You don't over
Right.
I mean, there's things to learn, yes.
Right.
but but there's not this sense of like, I don't know how to be a business owner and therefore I'm not going to do it, right? The
Right.
ego would
No,
just
I
take you out of the
do.
game.
I
Tell me.
do. I do find myself when I get in a room full of other business owners, I
Hmm.
do find myself shrinking in that room and feeling like an imposter, kind of. I get that.
Yes.
Sometimes I get that
Comparison.
feeling of I don't live up to this CEO stuff. I'm really not a CEO. I don't have the
Got
credentials,
it.
blah, blah, blah. I do find myself going there sometimes, and I have to
Got it.
turn that around quickly because I
So why do
am.
you
I
think you
am a
go there?
CEO.
You are a
Huh?
CEO. Why do you think you go there?
I think it's because of stuff, like not enough or
It
whatever is
is.
underlying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the old echoes, the old patterns that want to resurface and continue to
Right.
like plug back in the program that says, the evidence here of me being in a room of all these CEOs that I'm judging, I'm looking at
Mhm.
them going, they're more than me, like, or
Right.
put them up on a pedestal. The only we measure, we're the egoic self measures, right?
Right.
When I say we. So that because there is no limitation and there's no difference between you and me, them and you, right? There really is. We're all one source,
Right.
right? However, we've all like been separated into these cups of the ocean, even though we're all part of the ocean. That's going on behind you, by the way, so beautifully.
Isn't it great? I'm
Isn't it
helping you with
great?
your
See who
scenario.
we are is the ocean. You and I, our favorite place. So I love this. So it's like it's just the next level. And here's what I always say is like I wrote this down in my journal a week ago or 2 weeks ago when I was in my mentor's room of learning something new for me is that it's like it takes courage and brave. I always, brave here, talk about brave, to take the ceiling that you're creating, whoever you are, right, and how you're being, and take it and make it the floor, right?
Right.
Because the ego wants to knock up against the ceiling and knock us back down so that we don't have to go anywhere new. We don't have to be uncomfortable. We don't have to try on anything brand new because it's not familiar. It's not predictable. It's not in control. It's the unknown. It's the out of our realm of experience and evidence. Yet it's already experienced and recognized in the imagination. It's interesting. I started looking at things. It's like, what am I writing down that I want? Right? That I have yet to have. Okay. And then how can I normalize it? Because it's the lack of normalization. It's the whole story that we've made up of like, ooh, I've never had that, so that's uncomfortable and that's foreign to me, and my nervous system literally doesn't feel safe in it because it hasn't been done before. And one of the things that I got for myself is I believe I'm powerful. Like I just do. It's like I believe I'm a strong woman. I believe I'm powerful. I absolutely know I'm a business owner, and like those things have been handled and done. Like I've been that for years. I can drive the car without thinking about it.
Right.
But it was something. There was a nuance under the power. I am powerful, and it's almost like I keep writing it down, and I'm like, but it's like I already know that. Why do I keep writing that down? That was my question to myself. And holy cow, if the words didn't show themselves that day, and it was like, am I safe in my power? It wasn't the power, it was the safety in the power. And
Mhm.
that like cracked open the next level. My nervous system, like my feeling, like all the things I've experienced in my life. And I mean, like I know I'm brave. I know I like I've done some brave stuff. I can show the evidence of that, right? And I believe we all have. It's like we have come through so many different things in our lives and we continue to do so. And yet there's this piece that it's like, well, why am I not at my next level? Why am I not echoing the things that I really desire? Like, why is Lisa not echoing, 10 million, 20 million, 100 million company? Right? Or what have you. And I just saw for me, and I don't know if this resonates for any of you, but it was like there's always sometimes the nuance to the thing that you already know. And maybe, just maybe, why you keep affirming the same thing, and then you're a part of you is like, well, I do believe it. I do believe I'm this. I do believe I'm that. But then there's an underbelly, and that's a piece of it that's like, what if there's another layer that I just am not conscious to? And in that moment when I was journaling, I was like, oh, it's the safety in the power. Like, what if I am so powerful that I can just command something and it happens tomorrow? That's kind of scary to me right now. And what's true is 4 days I was in Toronto, and 4 days before my trip to Palm Springs, where I am now, I didn't have a clue where I was going. I had no actual evidence, I had no answer. 4 days, I was like, I trust Gus. It's going to reveal itself. I trust Gus. I have 4 days to figure out where I'm driving after the airport. Like, pack my stuff, get in the car, and go somewhere. And I don't know where that is. It's trusting the money will be there. It's trusting that the answer will be there. It's trusting that the perfect place will show itself. And so then I mean, within minute, 24 hours of that, like non lack of clarity, like I didn't know any answers. Within 24 hours, it came in. That's powerful. Like, can you be in the power of your manifester, manifester? Can you be? My Texan came out. Lisa. Lisa's in Texas. Allison, are you in Texas? Yeah. Okay, I thought so. Anyway, um, it's being safe in the nervous system. The nervous system must be calibrated to the thing that you want because it's where the vibration is, the feeling. And so the imagination creates it, it's already done. And then the nervous system starts to take on the imagination and it either rejects or allows. You think of an idea, you're like, I'm $100 million company. I am absolutely equal and whatever you want to call it with these CEOs in this room. I am that power. I am that powerful. I am an influencer. I am an icon. Like, are you safe in the power of that? Is your nervous system safe? And so that's what I started to see differently just in the last 2 weeks. It was like, oh, it's time to recalibrate the nervous system to that next level of power. Because I've been like, I'm powerful for many, many years. And I'm like, yeah, I believe that. I am. I do things very well. Like if I put my mind to it, I can make it happen. But then it was like, oh, well, what about the quantum leap? Like I put my mind to it, imagination, and it happens. It's kind of like wacko, right? It feels a little scary, and the nervous system's like, that's a little uncomfortable. So you want to actually regulate your nervous system to be safe in the power that you are. The infinite, abundant self that you are is a lot of energy, right? It's literally the energy of source. You are source energy. And like, imagine what that might feel like in your nervous system and start to embody it and then watch the magic happen. Like I even wrote down, I am a fast magician. Like my magic happens fast. And in that, right under it was like, ooh, am I safe in that power? Because that's a lot of power. For me to like create something in my mind and for it to show up immediately. Wow. Right? And so, what's the distance? What's the delay? So, give me something, anyone. And I am checking my Facebook here just to make sure anybody's commenting. Thank you for watching. Oops, it just disappeared. Is Give me something that you desire. Like what's a new like goal or belief? Great question. I'll come back to that. How do you move your nervous system to feel safe? Very good. But give me something, give me an example that is your next level, like your next desire, a goal that you have yet to achieve. And just either speak it out loud or type it. I just want one of your examples to play with. What is a goal that you have? Build or buy a house. Okay, very good. So what's the limitation and do you have around that?
So limitation is, we've talked about this before. How much is it going to cost and where's that money going to come from?
Yes. How, what, when,
And,
where?
huh?
How, what, when, where?
Right.
The ego trick.
And now we have two different options that were presented or have, yeah, presented
Manifested.
themselves,
Yes.
manifested. There is a house that was built on the corner of our property that was built by the actual guy who sold us the property. And the people there are moving. And so the
Mhm.
opportunity to buy that house has presented itself. And
Hmm.
it's funny, because it's almost like what we would have wanted, but not perfectly. And
Mhm.
it's on the property. Um, so I'm struck, and it's probably around the same cost. The
The
house is going to
building.
cost us the same as it would to build a house and a pool.
Okay.
So
You
I'm
just said
struggling.
struggling.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the idea, I think it is, that I didn't create that house. I didn't build it the way I wanted it. Um, and it's not my idea of what I wanted to see on my property. Like where I wanted to be, it's on
Isn't
the
that
road
interesting?
versus back in the corner, away from everything.
Right. Yeah, different
Um,
location of the
but
property.
it does hit most of the boxes. I'd have to do some modifications to it, which I could. I do have, the ability or the possibility to change it to the way I wanted it.
Got it.
So,
What if you already know the answer?
uh,
What's the answer? Your mind is processing instead of your body that already knows. What's exciting in your body, even though it may be uncomfortable? What do you actually desire? Are you settling? Are you compromising yourself? Are you separating yourself from the thing that you want because it looks like the easy way, or other influences, maybe other conversations and with other people? What's the answer?
I honestly could go either way,
Okay.
um, because it gives me what I want either way.
Great. And so
That's what
what's the attachment to I
initially,
didn't build it?
right, exactly. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What is keeping me from saying yes to that? Because I didn't build it.
Right.
Because I can still build what I want. Like, you know
Yes.
what I mean? I can still add on. So
You
what is
you can
it?
gut it and start over. I mean, you can literally do whatever you want to it, honestly.
Right. Right. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So so inside of it's almost like like this is echoing like something in you so that you can start to see what is the pattern, and then you can bring everything to conscious awareness so that then you can make an actual conscious choice versus returning to an unconscious echoing pattern that then holds you back and keeps you in your smaller self and regret or anything that might like actually be more comfortable, right?
I
So
think that's it. Regret. I think I'm worried about regretting not doing what I wanted to do in the first place.
yeah, you were very excited about like building.
Yeah. Well, that's the only reason that made me want to go on that land.
I know. I remember our conversation. So, isn't that interesting? Like, so it's like life. So let's zoom out for a minute, right? Okay, we can talk about the house later, but here I want you to see the pattern
Right,
of it, the echoing in
right,
the, what is it echoing? You are now, you have made choices, you have overcome fears, you have made the decision, you bought the property. Like that was even a process we had to go through, like to get you to the buying of the
right.
property. And then you now are presented with another like echo. And is it something inside of you that says, I wish this was easier, or I almost get what I want, but I always just end up with like settling for something a little less than, or I don't know. I want you to look to see this is a pattern, like it's like digits on a screen. It's a pattern. Allison, you and I are day traders, you know what I mean? Right? Aren't you trading? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. I was trying, I'm like, I think I remember that correctly. And so it's just feedback. And you've been presented with these like opportunity, yes, like a decision and an opportunity. And there's something in you that's created the pattern of this showing up again, where you have these choices, and there's something in you that you either discard, right? Like you ignore and drop into like a settlement and like a comfort zone. Maybe you return to resentment. Maybe like, what's the pattern? So where in your life have you shown up and you're like, I did it, I took the action, and now I'm presented with these choices and I don't know what to do. And that may take a minute to connect
Yeah,
dots.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a good question. I'm gonna write the question down
Write
because
it
it's gonna
down.
take
I don't
me.
want to yeah, I mean, I want an answer that's just true, but I'm not saying we have to like hurry up and find one. It's
Right,
it's just
right.
like what's there? What is the It can be, and it doesn't have to be, it's obviously, it doesn't have to be the same subject matter. It can be a relationship conversation. It can be a health conversation. It can be, um, your career. It can be relationships in your family. Like, what is it? What's the pattern?
Okay.
And it's almost like, not to create that there is one, but it's just what it feels like is like what I just said about the ceiling versus the floor. Like I get it, I get going, and then I get a ceiling, and I get like my upper limit kicks in. And something either, and this is a huge opportunity right now to like create the floor out of it instead of doing what you have always done, which is why I'm glad we're looking at this, right? It's like we don't have to do what we've always done. We can crack the ceiling. So just
Right.
be with that for a minute. Yeah, because I don't
Okay.
want it, I want it to reveal itself. So
Okay.
very good. Let me thank you, Lisa. Thank you, thank you. Let me come back to some of these other questions. How do you move your nervous system to feel safe in the new power? Love it. Love that question. I don't know who me is, but nice to meet you, me. It says ME. You can share your name if you wish. So let me answer that. What I believe and what I have witnessed in my own life is that when I make a new decision for something I have yet to see or yet to experience, or it's like brand new, right? And I know that it's going to take some conscious action, right? That's aligned with the new identity that has never been felt before in my nervous system. I start to take actions as close to the actual manifestation as possible so that my nervous system is exposed. I call it exposure therapy. You must expose your nervous system to the thing that you think it's going to freak out over. Because the only way the nervous system calibrates, because it's very fundamental, it's like a reptilian part of our body. It's primal. I should use the word primal. I like the word primal better, right? It's primal. It's not over analyzing things. It's literally just trying to keep you alive. Okay. So the nervous system is just primal, and whatever the mind is thinking, and the fears and the ego tricks, which I'm going to explain in a moment, it starts to feed the nervous system information. Then the nervous system goes into, I mean, this is how panic attacks are created. This is how anxiety attacks are created. This is how manifestation of, notice that the nervous system goes through your spinal cord, and all of the nerves and all of the organs are tied to it. Right? I don't know. I just heard that because it's like our nervous system is tied to all, and then we wonder why we're manifesting things in our body. I just had a gallbladder removed. I just was in the ER 3 weeks ago with a like pain in my abdomen. I got it resolved, but I was like, what is this really coming up for? It's not about the gallbladder. And sure enough, if you look up the spiritual meaning of like the emotional meaning, it's resentment and anger. What do you think I have spent many times in my life living in from my a really hard childhood? I will admit I had a lot of anger and resentment over that until I let go of the fact that it didn't mean anything, like it doesn't define me. And I literally the nervous system is was calibrated for so long that it created an organ that didn't want to be there anymore and energetically had to come out. That was not my preference, but it was there, right? Okay, so removed an organ. Got it. But my point is, we're exposing our nervous system, and then the nervous system basically calibrates to the resentment and anger. And then it starts to manifest other places, right? Potentially. It's the dis-ease in the body, right? So our nervous system is primal. It's just taking in information. And if you're feeding your thoughts and your beliefs and your unconscious autopilot more to the fears and the limitations, that is what the nervous system is calibrated to. So how do you create the safety in your nervous system to the new power, which was the question, is to expose it to the new power. Exposure therapy and letting yourself feel really uncomfortable, but excited and anticipatory of the success of your decision. Like, there's something, maybe Lisa, for you, I'm just like going back to your example, is that there's something that in the power of that decision, it's a little uncomfortable to make because it's like more unknown, more uncertainty, more money, more, and you're like, let me do the thing that's kind of safe and it's not exactly what I want. And it's kind of like, what if you just blew, like, what is it, caution to the wind? Like, what would you do? Right? Like, why are we now processing information to create the nervous system that's recalibrated to the thing that you can control? Because if you already have a house that's built that's almost there, you can control the outcome because it's already done. That might be part of it. So nervous systems are recalibrated in the exposure to the thing that makes it rattle. Rattle your nervous system, guys. This is why I've jumped out of an airplane. This is why I've ziplined 3 times. This is why I have gone nomadic and like get to experience not knowing where I'm living. And I don't have to call it homeless. I did. I was homeless in my mind. At 21 years old, 22 years old, I was hopping couches. I didn't have a place to live. And back then, my nervous system was calibrated to I'm evicted, I'm homeless, and I have no place to live. And I was in pain. I was in depression. I was sad and negative. That is not my life anymore. And notice, I'm basically doing the exact same thing, and I just changed the perspective and the experience in my body. And I'm getting really good at the law of impermanence and detachment. Like, I don't know what's coming, but I'm just going to trust Gus that I'm okay. And being in that power and the knowing. So I trust me. I don't, did you tell me your name? Michelle. Thank you. I trust that answers, right? Very good. Let me go continue here. Is it the thought around finances that holding the yes back? Oh, I think she might be looking at Lisa's situation. You mentioned an important word, uncertainty. Yes, it's strange. Uncertainty lives within the desire. Yes. So I always say, if you move into some of the material that I teach, the protocols and such, one of them is the fishbowl identity. And notice how a fish doesn't know it's in water because it's always in water. Well, most of us, until maybe this call or maybe a few calls before with someone else, I don't know, your awareness brought you here, by the way. You echoed me into your life, by the way. And so maybe, just maybe, you've already started to realize that you have an ego, that you have something that's not quite like in alignment with the essence that you desire to be. And so part of the fishbowl identity, I just like visuals. I have this graphic, and this fish is like jumping out of the fishbowl into the next one. And the reason is that it's currently in this fishbowl identity that it's created to keep it safe, contained, in control, and certainty. It doesn't have to risk anything because it knows this fishbowl. It knows this identity. It knows the I'm a nurse. It knows that I'm a employee. It knows like the money, even though I hate seeing my bank go to zero every month, it knows it. My identity knows it. I was very much, like I said at the beginning, I was very much in this experience as a child where financial flux was the norm. It was like, I don't know if we're going to be evicted this month. I moved 10 times between the age of 9 and 15. And how many times have I moved in the last year and a half? I think I've surpassed it. And I do not have the same nervous system feeling. Sometimes I get a little, my nervous system still is like, ooh, where are we going? We don't know where we're going, like I don't have a place to go, but I mean, but then I just trust I'm like the answer shows up and I can just buy a hotel room or an Airbnb or sleep in the car. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything, right? So when you are in the fish bowl, which we are always in a particular fish bowl at any given moment, it's just whether or not you are in the new fish bowl that you desire. And so the current fish bowl versus the one you want to be in, well, there's a gap between the two. There's a gap. There's this space that's like, I'm not who I want to be yet. I'm not getting the echoes that I want yet. The money's not showing up yet. The like, what have you, what have you. Well, something in you, the nervous system is calibrated to the norm. And the norm may be the echo, the pattern that you keep seeing. And in that pattern, your nervous system feels safe. So money, and it's interesting. So my bank account definitely goes up and down. Whose doesn't? We circulate, right? So in that circulation, can you be safe in the flux? Can you be safe? And they're like, oh, it's going down, and then it's going back up, and then it fills back up. But if you believe it's not going to fill back up, guess what you are going to experience? Panic. I did, right? So in the resistance to the flux or the resistance to the money's not in the bank experience is first you got to come back to the now moment and go, I'm okay. I'm sitting here on a Zoom call. I am abundant. Look at the place I live. Look at the food in the fridge. Look at like look at all the things you are abundant in before you start judging the bank account. Then really like pump that up into your nervous system like, wow, I really have a lot. I really have. I've circulated a lot of money in my life, most likely. And so then it's like being in that experience of like the abundance and the flux of your bank account or the flux of, the in and out of the relationship, even like that's a flux sometimes, is not the truth. It's just your nervous system responding to what it thinks is happening, right? So we want to recalibrate the nervous system. Now, there's plenty of tools, especially in my back office that I provide my clients. It's like meditations and some affirmations and assumption guided visualizations. There's some protocols that I have you follow and start to I call it the detachment method. And so there's these opportunities to actually consciously take new action and practice a new thought, a new way of being, and a new practice, right? Like you get to practice new ways of behavior. And so all of those tools are inside of the back office that I provide. And any time we can pull the toolbox out and go, which tool am I going to use today that's going to make me like shift as fast as possible out of this thing that my ego is trying to create. At any moment, the ego is trying to keep you in the fishbowl. I always like, I had a group call on with my master's clients this week, and we were on the call, and I'm always referencing the elevator of ascension because I promise you, I'm at some point I'm gonna get like a animation made of it, like somebody could just make me a cartoon about it. Basically, I imagine myself, and as I ascend and I become more conscious and more conscious and more conscious, and I'm moving up this elevator. of timelines, of floors. The floor is a timeline, right? Very clearly, I am not on the same timeline as I was at 25, 35, 45, etc. And I'm going to stop there because then you would know my age. But regardless, like, like I'm not on the same timeline. My elevator has definitely gone up a floor, if not many. And so what I imagine is my higher self, my essence, at some point says it's time to go up, which means the ceiling is no longer the floor. Excuse me, the ceiling is now the floor because I'm going to go up an elevator level, right? And so I walk into the elevator and imagine the ego screaming at me and holding the doors open with all its might and fighting me tooth and nail because if it believes that if I shut the doors, it dies. The ego is in survival always. It behaves that way. It takes over your behavior. It's called ego tricks. I have 15 of them. And you become an egoic archetype. Many of you probably are fall into, there's four actually, but there's a lot of realists. You justify, you control, you plan. Lisa's a realist, so her predominant egoic archetype, with a little rebel in the background, and the rebel gets frustrated and annoyed and like, oh, irritated, right? It's all ego tricks. It's not who we are. And so we're at the edge of the elevator and it's holding on for dear life and it's starting to use all the ego tricks that it can possibly use because you, the higher self, is going, I got this. I'm powerful. I'm safe in my power. I'm going to move up a floor and I'm going to wake up even more to who I really am. And the ego is losing it, right? And it will try everything. It will sabotage you. It will lower your bank account so you will get so scared that you're going to go back to your old pattern. It will echo things in your reality that you don't want so that you can stay in the pattern. And that ego is holding on for dear life because it doesn't believe it's going to live. And then you shut the doors and you take, because you take a deep breath and you get your courage up and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this thing, even though it's really uncomfortable. And the ego is screaming at me. And you go up the floor and you're like, oh, I did it. Okay, I'm here. What the heck is on this floor? I don't even know what to expect. I don't know. It's all uncertain. It's the unknown. I'm doing something brand new. I'm becoming someone new. Like the identity of who I am. I have goosebumps right now. Ooh, my cheeks are flush. Like the truth is moving through me. And the point is I open the door and the ego goes, hey, welcome. And the ego's like, come on in. I got you. And you decide if you give the power back to the ego or you just say, welcome, thank you. You can sit in the back seat now. I'm on this new level, this new timeline. And I love that you're with me because I'm not, this is not hate the ego. This is not get rid of the ego. This is like the ego is not in control anymore. My whole job right now is to help people wake up to who they really are and manage the ego so big that you start to you get to the closest point. I don't know how close I can get, but my mission is to get as close to ego less as I possibly can before I become non-form, right? And return to source. Like how close can I get? That's the game I'm playing. And so I imagine these elevators and it's unlimited, it's infinite. Like the elevators are infinite. So I'm just like I keep moving up. And yet sometimes I get stuck on one. Imagine like look at the timelines that you guys have all gone through and you've moved through and you've shifted upwards and through and over and whatever you want to call it, but you start to realize people don't even show up on the timeline anymore. They're like, "Where'd that friend go? Where'd that family member go?" They just are not on your timeline. Why is that? It's a frequency. Your identity and your timeline is a frequency that you're living on, and they either are repelled and they're like, I have to stay down here at a lower level. I'm not ready to go there. And they either disappear or maybe they're less in your life and your ego might try to get you to go back down on the elevator. I have definitely lived that. It's like I'm up here, I am holding my vibration and my frequency, and then I have relationships that are like bring me back, and I get back on the elevator and I drop back down, and I'm like, I do not feel aligned. I do not feel safe there anymore, but it feels familiar. And so you go back to the old timeline or the old elevator. Remember, we're moving timelines every minute, every second, right? Up and down, up and down, up and down. And we're shifting, shifting, shifting because reality is always just in the now moment. But if you find yourself returning to another echo pattern and another timeline, and you, or maybe it's a relationship that comes back in. A lot of times I'm so blessed. There's so many relationships that they have gone away for years, like a couple years or more. And then all of a sudden we reconnect and we're on the same level, like spiritually, consciousness, our conversations, like something brings us back together because it's like I call it like the spiral, right? Like the spiral vortex, it's like we're coming in and out. Energy is not linear. It's not an elevator that goes straight up. It's kind of like floating, right? And some people are like, "Oh, I'm ready to come up on level 11 with you." And so here I am again. And then it's like this beautiful new relationship. So everyone's always changing. Everyone's always, on their level of ascension. And yet, so we can bless that because it's who we used to be. Like we were that. So why, resent it, judge it, be anything less? So that's where compassion for self and others come in. And we stay in our choice, in our consciousness to say, who am I and what am I creating and what echoes do I want to reflect in my life? The limitations of my past or the reflections of my desires. That's the name of the masterclass, right? So uncertainty lives in the current fishbowl because anything outside of the current fishbowl of identity is uncertain because it's not familiar. And so it's being willing to be in the uncertainty and know that you're safe regardless. It's being willing to spend and trust, like invest in yourself, which I think is the best investment. I've always invested in myself. I just took a big leap and invested in myself at a whole new level. And I absolutely, my ego came in when I invested in myself, and it was like, ooh, it's making up stories of how I don't have the money and I'm like, da, 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 da. And I was like, yes, I actually do. I just was like holding on to it. I was like, and do you know, I invested in myself. I put the deposit down, and within 1 month, I tripled it without knowing. I didn't know the triple was coming other than my belief in it. Like, my belief was if I knew success was inevitable, what action would I take right now based on my alignment to the decision and who I'm becoming? And I was like, I am this. So therefore, I can make the decision trusting that it's gonna reverberate back to me. And it did. I just did that with my new place. I'm committing to a couple months to the next place, and I'm like, eek, am I really going to commit to like multiple months? Like, who am I now? I'm like, I'm always floating around every week or month. And I was like, and then the money came in, the money fear, my old patterns. Remember, I grew up in scarcity and lack. So guess which echo I must tame? Which echo do I have to control and shut up once in a while? And so I was like, nope, this is my new self. This is my truth and alignment. It feels completely right. Lisa, what feels right? Let go of all the processing in your head. The right probably feels a little scarier, and I don't have the answer for you. I'm not like guiding you to one or the other. Like, but just in your share, there's something that you're like resisting, right? Because the answer's there. It's just probably a little more uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm resisting, like you said, I got to look around. What does it mean because I'm not building the house?
Yes. And once you have the meaning and once you have the like it was the same thing for me, like investing in myself. And I was like, what am I making it mean about like pulling money out of this bucket instead of that bucket or making it that I was making it all mean something. Like, who am I if I touch that, or use
Right.
that or circulate that or whatever. A lot of people like they invest with me and they put it on credit card and they're all of a sudden making it mean like something bad to be on credit card and debt. And I'm like, wait a minute. Debt is abundance. Like, do you realize like what a tool that is? Like, you can use it for good. You can use it for investment that's actually going to multiply and pay itself off. Like, it's not about anything. But back in the day when I made bankruptcy bad and it was like part of my identity, like, oh my God, I went bankruptcy. And I'll just be honest with you. In the beginning, when I went bankrupt, internally, I was like, oh, of course this happened. This was one of my fears from childhood. However, it took me 5 years to tell it out loud. So I'm not
Okay.
sugarcoating this. I had to
Right.
become the identity that doesn't define me. That there was, because I did have shame wrapped around
Right.
it for 5 years. And Lisa was with me, I think, in the unveiling of that. Like she met me before I got on a stage and said it out loud in front of 100 people. I think, I don't know. She wasn't at that event, but I was like, and then I just said it all the time as a speaker. I was like, if I can do this and move through this and go through this, you can go through anything. It's like we are the ones creating the attachment. We are the ones creating the resistance. We're creating the shame. And I absolutely had to move through that identity that I was repeating and let it go. It wasn't even, to be honest, I don't even think it was my shame. I think it was a part of the generation that was shaming part of that, the meaning. Nothing bad for my family, but there was shame for them as well, my mom and dad, and you know, it's like doesn't it didn't feel good to them. And then I took that on. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to not feel good about this. So, whatever it is for you, like it's now time to shift the identity and move into a new fishbowl, even though it really is just translucent, right? It's like you're just shifting energy. It's not like some hard shell you got to break in order to be in the new one. But that's the experience of the ego. The ego is the one that puts a glass wall around us and says we are limited.
Right.
Like when I say we're the ocean and then our bodies, our vessels are the cup, it's a glass cup. We can see through it. We can see the ocean around us, but we don't, we separate from it. We're like, we're like, oh, I'm the ocean, but that's outside of me. No,
Hmm.
no, the ocean's in the cup, in the glass cup, and you're visibly looking outside, but you're creating this separation that says, I'm not the ocean, I'm the glass cup. And so it's just like this experience of like separation from who we are. And then it shows up in our echoes, and it shows up in our patterns, it shows up in our behaviors. Every day we wake up with a thought. And it's like I encourage you, like look to see what am I thinking the moment I open my eyes? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What do I put my attention on? And it was, oop, I just hit a button. It was funny because I did this exercise as well. And I was like, well, the first thing that happens is I am reacting to the whether or not my 17-year-old dog has to go to the bathroom. That's what I'm doing. Anybody that has a pet, like the first thing I wake up and I'm like, do you have to go to the bathroom or can I go first?
Hmm.
And if he's awake, it's him or he'll make a mess, right? And it's just hilarious because I was like, I was walking through, like, what do I, like, literally, what do you do when you wake up? And I was like, oh, wow, I'm like in reaction to the dog's bladder. And I was like, all right, well, we can reframe that. It's just, it is part of the choice I made to have a dog, right? And like, and now he's old. My little old man, he's laying here next to me. He's asleep, so that's good. But he's resting. Anyway, so okay, so let's see. Let me make sure I've answered any other questions, just put them in the chat. The next thing I want to finish with here is right? Number one lesson was create or react. Which one are you doing? Create from your imagination, align with that imagination, take actions accordingly, or react based on the ego tricks. Right, 15 ego tricks. You're waking up, you're reacting to the dog, or you're reacting to the empty bank account, or you're reacting to your partner's energy, like their mood. I did that one. Like what are you doing? Are you creating or reacting? So, number one. Number two, believe it to see it. We have to believe it first. We have to embody the identity of that belief. Like the belief is part of the identity work. I call it getting your shift straight. Like, we need to identity shift ourselves and then believe thoughts, actions align with that identity. But if we don't know who we're being and we're on autopilot and we're driving the car and not remembering who we are and where we're going, then we're in reaction. Then we're in that autopilot, and the echoes are just like the universe just says yes to whatever you're showing up as. Number three is ownership. This is the third one I want to share with you. And so coherence requires radical ownership. You are the powerful one. You are safe in your power. I've already shared that. And you're not the circumstance. You're not the bank account. You're not the bankruptcy. You're not the relationship that didn't work. You're not that. You're not the car accident. You're not the gallbladder removal. You're not that, like, whatever you plug in all of the experiences you have that weren't so grand, or I call it contrast. It's just contrast. It's like, oh, let me just say this. You have to experience the contrast in order to have the thing you desire actually even exist. In order to experience and observe something, the opposite must exist also, the contrast. So I like to think of it as, well, first of all, like we have sun, and therefore we know we have sun and daylight, and the sky is blue because we have night. Just imagine, I mean, and maybe I know there's some places on the planet that it gets pretty close to this where it's like the sun never goes away. However, it does dim. I think it dims. But the point is like really imagine if we never, ever, 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 ever had sunshine. Like it was dark and maybe the moon was the only thing that exists. Like it never, there was never a contrast. How would we observe day? We would never observe it because it doesn't exist without the contrast, right? We are in the fishbowl. Like the fish does not know they're in water because they don't see the contrast. That's the ego limitation. So anyway, that's my like awareness of contrast. And I'll tell you this from experience, August, a month ago, not even a month, was massive amounts of contrast for me. Like one thing, like every week, one thing after another. And you know what I said to myself? Even though I was crying in the bathroom, like I still reframed myself. I was like, this sucks and I'm feeling it. But I am so excited because if I'm going through this much contrast, it means all the stuff that I want is on its way. If I am in this much contrast, if this bank account is this low or high, or, I'm giving you guys examples, like whatever's going on for you, if the bank account's not reflecting, if the panic is happening and the circumstances keep hitting you, like coming at you, you're like, be grateful because that means your desires are about to show up. And if you believe that, if success is inevitable, what would you do? What would you choose? How would you invest in yourself? What action would you take? What conversation would you have? Right? So, ownership is realizing that you are the one that's creating it all. You are the one that's creating the experience. You're echoing the contrast in order for you to expand and grow. And you're elevating in the ascension process, right? So, all the echoes that of the patterns and the contrast that I was creating. And I mean, yeah, there was some things that were painful. Like there was, like one of my family members had a death. Like my daughter got in a car accident and then she had an emergency surgery. And it's like, I had an ER visit, like contrast, like life is happening. None of it was on my manifestation list, guys. I didn't write down, give me a car accident of my daughter, and then let's go to the hospital a few times. And then, no, I didn't write any of that down. I wrote the opposite, and then the contrast showed itself. And the contrast is there to show me what I am still out of alignment with. It is there to show you the echoing, the reflection, so that you can be with it. Because the moment you deny that there's an echo and you have nothing to do with it, it will maintain. It will continue. So it's not the circumstance, it's not the person. They're not hurting you, they're not causing you. They are the effect of your cause. They are the actor in your script. And it's Lisa and I've had this conversation. Isn't it funny that sometimes what we unconsciously have a fear about, yet we think we're overcoming it, right? Like, because we're having opposite thoughts of that because we're on the path of changing our fears and our beliefs and all of that. But the unconscious, the belief or the fear is still sitting under the surface. And then the husband says it. And then you're like mad at him for being fearful. Right? It's like, God love him. You're like, all you have to do is say thank you for the reflection because something in me still needs to hear it or still is saying it. And it's an over, like it's time to override it. It's time to be like, okay, like, can you have as much compassion for that person that's reflecting the thing that you don't like or don't want anymore and go, yeah, that's me actually, or it was. Maybe they're reflecting an old version of you and you're still hearing it, the echo, the reverberation. And so thank them, embrace it because they're you. They're an aspect of you. And so at the moment you reject that, you're rejecting your part of you that still has it. The ocean is always the ocean. The ocean is always connected. We are connected to everyone that is the ocean. Just because we're in a cup doesn't separate us. The tide and the current echo and reverberate and come back to us and ripple, right? I love these analogies. I'm an analogy girl. Okay, so in the ownership, what do we get to take ownership is our behavior. First of all, everyone on this planet is responsible, not blame, but responsible for their behavior because their behavior is based on beliefs and thoughts that are in their control and therefore their creation. And so if you own your part and who you are, because you are the power behind that, you now have a whole new level of tools and a whole new level of observation and a whole new level of perspective. And you get to shift. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and I don't need to identify the specifics. There's a lot, and you are curating the algorithm on your social media feeds. You are curating the algorithm of your consciousness. And if you consciously engage with the world at large and all of the contrast that is happening, start to look and take ownership of you're the curator. Why does it keep showing up? Why do I keep watching that show? Why do I keep listening to the news? Or why is it showing up in my space? And it's not, I'm not making it right or wrong. It's a choice. It's literally just a choice. You don't have to judge it. But it's like there's so much going on in the life. I choose to rise above it. And I know hardship is there. I know the pain that people feel. I'm an empath. I feel it all. And I did, especially some of the things happening. I was like, oh, my heart is hurting. I can feel it all. And then I had to step out of that and go, I'm the power. I'm the one that can create my experience of my observed reality. And I am the one curating the algorithm. It's not just the algorithm on Instagram. And notice, this is the analogy. Notice on the algorithm of Instagram or social media, any of them, if you like it, if you watch it, if you comment, guess what you get more of?
Mhm.
So move it to your life. If you watch it, if you like it or hate it or resist it and you keep getting more of it. And so therefore it's a pattern. And therefore, who's driving the pattern, your essence or your ego? And so you are the algorithm of your own consciousness. You get to curate that. And it's like sometimes you just got to actually turn off the news. You got to turn off the social media. You got to like step away. Yes, especially if you're in reaction, right? Because then are you reacting or creating? I know there's hard things going on. I know there's unfortunate things I do not desire going on in the world. So what am I going to do? Who am I the powerful manifester of? Not only my experience, but if I raise my vibration, my frequency, my perspective, guess what happens in the collective ripple of the ocean? I am the drop that has an impact on the collective. And the fun part for me and all of the years that I've been doing this work is I am starting to see the ripple in the wave because I'm choosing to see it in my algorithm of all of the goodness and all of the light that is actually starting to dim the dark, not dim the dark, that's the other way, but shed light on the dark, right? It's like we live in a universe that is the law of duality. There's opposites. So there is going to be dark with the light, or you can't have light. There is a night and a day, or you can't have one of the other. There is the up and the down. There is the financial flux in your bank account. There is the all of the contrast. And so if we can just stop making the contrast bad or wrong or judging it and just be like it's contrast. And then you get to choose your belief about it. And I just choose the one that makes me feel really excited is like if I have that much contrast going on, I have a lot of good shit coming. Let me just say it. Like, it's coming, it's here, it's now, and I just have to be open to receive. I'm the ownership, radical ownership of my existence. And I will tell you, I did not have this tool. I did not think this way 10, 20 years ago. It was a practice and it's an investment in myself. I have invested in my mentorship and people that are like holding me to the fire. Like you call me out, right? Like I need someone to call me out and show me the mirror. So you guys, I'm bringing in your attention that there's echoes in your life. I just help you activate, right? And see them and then bring you the mirror that sometimes you're not seeing. And then we get to work on the mirror and like cracking it open. Crack that mirror. Let's make some new ones. Let's make a new reflection, right? And so that's my invitation. And so finally, I'll give you a fourth one. Just elevate your self-awareness. And how do I do this in my world? I love using my ego tricks. So I'm going to post in the chat here real quick for anyone. I know Lisa's already, and you can take it again, but this is the one of the tools I use to help people very, very quickly, like immediate, get an elevated self-awareness because everything starts with the elevated self-awareness. If you don't know what you're thinking, if you don't know who you are, and you don't know what you're believing, and you don't know like what's driving you and what's this behavior about, and when the ego trick flares up, you then have a self-awareness that there's a source to the ego trick. The disappointment, the control, the I need to figure out how, what, when, where, the martyring, which is all about like shame and guilt and all of that. Those are all part of the 15 ego tricks. And you can find out your egoic archetype and you can find out your what those 15 are. And then the importance of that is my self-awareness now when I walk around life and I know I have the 15 in my mind, like I know them very well. And it's like, oh, okay, there's something going on that I get to reflect upon. It's not the circumstance. It's not that making me angry or upset or irritated. Because usually there's hurt underneath. There's something in unresolved. There's an identity that I'm still being that's having this protective behavior show itself to try to keep me on the same floor of ascension. If I can stay on this timeline, the ego's like, I got you. I can keep you safe, right? So I want to just I want to hear from you guys what so far, this is kind of like the wrap up. What are you hearing for yourself? Like what are you kind of like, wow, that was the aha or that's the takeaway? What's coming up for you guys?
Mine was the awareness of how easy it was to just write something down and let it happen,
Mm,
accept it,
yeah.
that it
Allowance.
doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's okay if it has some hardness because that's just the nervous system like resisting the unfamiliar,
Hmm.
right? But the fact that there's a choice and an awareness that says, oh, I can have an identity that says I make it easy.
Right,
It doesn't, like it doesn't have to be hard, but there can be some, and that's okay too. Like we don't have to like avoid the hard. But yes, like my life is so different, right? We can make a decision right now as an identity that says my life is easy.
right.
And I will
My life
gather
is
that
easy.
a lot of people have an identity that says struggle is more familiar,
Right.
challenge is more familiar, panic is more
Chaos.
familiar. What'd you
Chaos was
Chaos.
what'd you say?
chaos was
Chaos.
Oh
familiar.
yeah,
Yeah.
chaos. Oh yeah, drama, right? Chaos. And it's interesting when I get around chaos and energy, like somebody that has a lot of chaotic energy or drama, whoo, my ego starts coming in and it's like, wow, 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 this is out of alignment. This is not who I am anymore. Because I had that in my younger years. It was just constant. It was the familiar life as a child, like chaos and unpredictable and fear and right? So very good. So it's like if you are moving to a new floor, a new timeline, a new identity that says I no longer allow. Remember my first statement, you believe, you allow, or you expect, right? And expectations not in the like I have to have it this way expectation. That's a resistance of the ego, but
Mhm.
expect in the sense of like, I know success is inevitable. I know I am safe in my power. I know I'm a multimillionaire. I know if not bigger than that, right? Because I'm infinite. But I'm like, let's just start with the human experience of multimillionaire, right? I know that I am this. I know, no, no. And yet there's this, kind of like the rattle of like people showing up that has this energy that's not aligned with anymore. And that's what you get to pay attention to. It's not them, it's
Mhm.
you. And it's okay to let people fade and not judge it and not be, I mean, it might hurt a little because the ego's wanting to hold on to the relationship. I've got one going on that it's just like, where did that relationship go? Like I don't even know what happened. And my mind wants to make sense of it. Like what happened? What did I do? What'd she do? What did I do? And maybe it's just divine timing. It might just be part of the spiral, right? It's like out, not in my timeline, and then it comes back. And I have to be willing for maybe it never comes back, and I just get to be with my human about that, right?
This
So
has been
say it again. Go ahead,
this
Alice.
has been fantastic. I jumped a floor, went right through a ceiling just during this call
Mhm.
Tell
because
me.
of some recent things that I've been reacting to.
Very good.
Can I just share a real quick story?
Yes, share
So
an
my husband and I
example.
never fight, and I've never heard him scream. And the other day, he's screaming at me, and he's not an enlightened kind of person. He talks about the, you know, um, uh, self-esteem and stuff like that.
Sure.
He was like, "What is wrong with you? You are so smart. Do you just have no self-esteem? You can make so much more money in your trading. Now that you're making money, why are you staying small?" Screaming at me. I'd never even heard him scream before in my
Wow.
whole life. So it's really wild. And then
He's your
I was like,
actor.
okay, this is really easy. Just go up.
Yeah.
Just
And more importantly,
go to
what if
the next
that
level.
screaming is your little voice and you
It
going,
is me. It is
Allison,
absolutely an echo. It
wake
is
up.
absolutely everything in my energy that I have
Yes.
put out in this house living with him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Yeah. It's your
this,
little girl
this
like
call
stay
has been
small.
so wonderful for me, though. I
Yeah.
mean, just can't imagine how much better I feel right now. I
Oh,
feel
I'm so
different.
happy to
I
hear
feel
that.
elevated. I feel calmer, more at peace. I loved that.
Wow.
Am I safe in my power?
Yeah.
That's really big, really big.
Yeah.
I need
I
to
feel
I need
you.
to unpack that.
Yeah. I feel you.
So
Mm,
thank you for having this.
you're welcome. Oh my gosh, it's really great to be with you in person. I see us online, right? I love it. Thank you, Allison. Huge. Oh, right. Breathe that in, everybody. Breathe that
Yeah,
in.
it's huge, just huge.
Yeah. What is possible now that that shifted?
All that I knew was
Possibility.
possible before,
Mm-hmm.
but whatever was going on, it's released. It's
Got
now
it.
out there, right?
Yay.
It's gone.
Yeah. Anything's possible. We just choose it. Wow. Thank you. Oh my gosh. That makes me so happy and so worth it.
Oh,
Right?
it was so worth it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for being here, man. Okay. Well, on that note, like that was big. Thank you. Um, How many of you would like to know some just details, information about like what I've got offered for this event, right? Just like what's possible for your continuation and the ascension. And so I'm going to like copy and paste a few things here. This is obviously for my Zoom call, but I'm going to verbalize some of it as well. And so
Great. Thank
if,
you.
say it again.
I just wanted to say yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. So looking at, like I believe I'm a co-creator with the people I choose to work with or they choose to be with me or in the containers that I've created. And when we invest in ourselves and especially on a financial exchange or it creates an attention. You start paying attention, you start doing the thing, right? Yes, you are a client already, Lisa. Thank you. And And so it's just an opportunity for you to be like, is there a level of involvement and engagement that would help me quantum leap my next breakthrough, right? Like Allison just had one in a 2 hour span. Like, what could we do, right? If there was more opportunity. So I have three things primarily that I speak to. One is the masters, which is my high level all-in coaching container. It's the Quantum Leap Mentorship. And that's a five-figure investment where you spend a year with me, and there's only a handful of people that actually move into that space. Meaning, it comes with private calls, it comes with the group calls, it comes with unlimited Voxer access. So you are in my space, and I am like you're my priority client. And so that one is very powerful at shifting the absolute level of consciousness that you're at, so that you shift into the behavior and the echo that you want to see. Right. So this is, we spend a lot of time together breaking through. And it's funny because I've had celebrities and day traders, and financial planners, and of course Lisa has been one of them. She's the nurse now, the business owner, right? There's so many. It doesn't matter what you do. It's a matter of like who you want to become and how fast you want to get there. So the masters is an opportunity. The second thing is, and keep in mind, I've got some event specials, and it's that you have 5 days to actually consider the invitation and get the bonuses. So if you do the masters, I'm actually in bonusing a 4,000, almost a $5,000 mini VIP day with me. And you can use that anytime. And that's part of the 5 day open enrollment. Then number two, the Power Hour bundles is also another place you can play, where you get private time with me for a 6 month period. And that is 5,999. So it's kind of the middle road of your appreciation exchange. And this is where we really focus on identity shifting in a private setting. And you move yourself from who you are, the fishbowl identity, into where you want to be. But more importantly, you start behaving and taking actions and recalibrating the nervous system at such a high level that things start to shift fast. Okay, so that's another opportunity, and something maybe in between. And then if you want to like tip your toe in, then we have the collective membership. And right now that is $444 for an annual membership. It's usually $888. And that comes with, this is bonused actually in the Power Hour bundles for the event. But if you just want to start with the collective, and you can always ascend from there, it's $444 a month, a year right now. And I mean, I coach you monthly on a group call. I give you all of my ego shift, ego tricks, the courses and the materials and the protocols and the tools and the meditations, and a community. I think community is really big in being able to like know that, one, you're not alone and you're not any different than anybody else. And so we bring that into the collective membership. So those are three opportunities. And the collective membership actually does come with one private call with me. Again, for the 5 day period of enrollment, and if you want to join that invitation. So it's very simple. I'm not here to complicate anything. Everybody kind of comes in at different levels. And, it's like wherever you are, if you want to just step into my energy and the collective energy that I'm creating, the containers, and support yourself in actually breaking through the ceiling, creating a new floor, then these are some opportunities. And I've also put here a link to more detail. Some people like to see it visually. So if you go to http://offers.jenaloren.com, you're going to hear all this, and you'll also see what the event specials are. Again, those are good for 5 days from today. So check them out. Again, if at the beginning of the call I invited you to be on like a private complimentary call with me, and schedule that so that we can talk about this. Maybe you're like, I don't know which one would be a good fit for me. I feel good about one of them or two of them or three of them, but like, where do I belong, and and I can help you unpack anything that might be limiting you in your decision. A lot of time our decision is like, yes, I would love that. I would love all of that. I would love to fly to Tahiti. Like I want to do the thing. And then we come in and the ego starts coming in and making all the reasons why I can't. Remember, I did the same thing just a few months ago, and then I overcame that, and now, like, holy cow, the changes in my life that are happening drastically because I invested in myself is what I offer my people as well. And the co-creation is a really powerful thing. You heard Lisa's story. I've worked with her over the last 10 years or so, and she has not gone from a nursing salary and now she's moving into like millions, right? So it's so powerful to just like hook your wagon to somebody that's committed to your highest version of you. And that's what I love being for the people that are here and the people that I'm meant to serve, and my commitment to raising the consciousness on the planet. So those are the invitations. Again, you'll get this also in an email if you have registered for this event. So all of that will show up, including the replay. And is there any questions? A couple of you are still online live. I've got a couple people watching on Facebook. Do you have any questions for me, or have I answered? Are you good? Yeah. Okay, great. So thank you so much for a brilliant webinar. Love it. You are welcome. And again, if questions arise, doubts arise, hesitation, limitation arise, I jump on my calendar. We'll have a conversation, and there's no pressure. It's just like let's have a dialogue to see where you are and how you can continue to elevate your and change the echo, right? Like let's have a new echo. And so I'm going to end this call with a special little treat. I've seen some of my mentors and do this, and I love ending with music. Number one of the tools is music for me, is to raise my vibration and frequency. And so I'm going to, I think probably for copyright reasons, we're going to stop streaming on Facebook. Please continue, if you watch the replay on Facebook or in your email, please share with me your takeaways. I love hearing Allison's takeaway. Like, what are you getting from this, right? And so I'm going to close out. We're going to stop the live stream, and I'm going to play the song. And what's most important about this song is the words, right? Like it's not so much, I mean, like it's a powerful song. Like it's like it gets you going, but it's like the words are so powerful. So stay with me if you're here on Zoom, and the recording of the Zoom call, and then on Facebook. I will see you soon. So let's see if I can close that out. Okay, here we go. Let me play. Hold on, let me find it. I thought I had it open here. Where did it go? Okay. Let's see. This is so good. I was listening to it like 3 times this morning. And hold on, let's go to this. Where is it? Okay, here we go. And just feel the music. Oh, first of all, please let me know if that you can hear it. Oops, hold on, maybe not. Auto settings.
I did not hear it.
Can you hear it now?
Yep.
Okay.
No way, no doubt, the shift's begun. I speak, it is done. From my lips to the sun, it's already won. Every word's a seed I planted deep, roots in the unseen, power that I keep. No begging, no begging, no hope someday. I declare here. Free, the vision's already free. My voice, yeah, the universe, all my steps. Giving every sound a silent teacher. Love writes the lore and fire. Every tone takes me higher. No try, no maybe, no delay. Every syllable carves the way. Reality bends when I say, and I say holds. From the tongue to the field, from the field to the form, it's already sealed. I'm in the face of clouds, speaking kingdoms, thinking out every already won.
Beautiful. It's my new fave. All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Please reach out, schedule your
I
call.
loved it.
Did you like it? I love that
I
one.
loved it.
I love it. Oh yeah. Good Vibes Tribe, Good Vibes Tribe 1111
Oh,
group.
Good Vibes Tribe.
Yeah, look it up on Spotify, and I just played that one on YouTube. But yeah, check them out. There's so many good ones. I just like play like loop it.
Great. Yeah, loop them. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes,
That's
yes.
great. Well,
So
thank you. Thank you.
anyway,
Thank you.
you're welcome. I look forward to connecting with you further. I'm so
Yes.
excited. Good to see you, and we'll talk
Good to
soon.
see you too.
You too.
Really
Bye.
wonderful. Thank you.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome.